We have a major update revolving around this Phoenix Suns team as some new names have been revealed for this head coaching search following Matt Ishbia and Brian Gregory wanting this to be the first point of attack for the Phoenix Suns off season. So we're going to dive in and we're going to explore the names that were mentioned in the latest update and overcome and overlook all of the candidates for the Suns head coaching spot and ultimately decide who is the best for this team. We'll be deciding all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I said it right this time here on this channel. I am Bruce Veliz, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love and support for the channel, which has been super appreciative. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section and really keeping it clean on your guys' true thoughts on this Suns team. So once again, let me know your guys' thoughts on the head coaching search down below in the comment section and who you guys would like to see as the main target for this Suns team. I would like to let you guys know that once again, we will be live tomorrow on our weekly scheduled day. We will be going back to the 3 p.m. Western or Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern scheduled time for tomorrow, and our guest will be the only Ben Garcia from Locked On Suns and the Ben Garcia Show. So I'm really appreciative of Ben coming on to the Suns Digest tomorrow, and I hope you guys will stay up to date. We're going to be talking a lot about the Suns on that, so hope you guys can stay tuned and join for that tomorrow as well. But without further ado, let's dive into the video at hand and let's get to the news revolving around this Suns team. So make sure to grab that snack and let's get into it. As like I mentioned, there were more names revealed for this head coaching search. And if you saw my video yesterday, you all know that I released a video talking about the 3 names that were initially released by John Gambadoro, the Suns insider, when he said there were 3 names, but basically 4 on the list. And he said not accurate if it's down to 4. Chris Quinn, Johnny Bryant, and Jordan Ott, he can confirm, are those various sources in the final 4. But there was no real confirmation on this final 4 head coaching search. I said I'd let you guys know in the comment section. But yesterday, I went to go see Thunderbolts. Really great movie, not to go off topic or on a tangent. But when I was seeing that movie, all the news came out, ironically, right? That's how it always happened. And I was late. I didn't get on it. I didn't make a video last night, so I wanted to make the video today talking about it. But we saw from John Gambadoro that he said that he's hearing that Dallas assistant Sean Sweeney is heading to Phoenix to interview in person for the final head coaching job tomorrow after he said no in yesterday's video. He also said Sean Sweeney will make it to the 4 interviews scheduled for the final round, hearing they could have added 1 more to make it a total of 5, and he said yes on David Bliss, which brings us back to this tweet from Michael A. Scotto late last night at around almost 11 p.m., 8 p.m. Pacific for you guys over in Phoenix, that the Suns have at least 5 head coaching candidates that they're going to have advancing to the next round of interviews for their job. It's Jordan Ott, Johnny Bryant, Sean Sweeney, Chris Quinn, and David Bliss. These are the final 5, and after the long, extensive list that we did break down and see over these last couple weeks, it is nice to see the Suns finally get down to a concrete list of at least 5 names to really break down and look at. And that's what we're going to do in today's video once again. But I'd like to preface that the Suns made this a deep search, right? At first, John Gambadoro said, like Brian Gregory and Matt Ishbia said at the introductory press conference for Brian Gregory, that they were going to cast a wide net of people for this head coaching search, right? So they went out, casted for 15, 20 guys. Then they brought back around 8 or 9 guys here for this second round of interviews, and then they cut that list down to 5. We saw some names that were removed from that list, guys like Steve Hetzel, who was a late add, a guy in Micah Nori, who was also removed, a guy in James Borrego, and a guy in David Fizdale, who was the ex-assistant head coach of this Phoenix Suns team. And courtesy of Locked On Suns and Dwayne Rankin for reporting this, and for me seeing it on Locked On Suns, what Brendan and Ben talked about in their latest episode, that some other news rolling around the coaching search was that Fizdale apparently was only brought back on as assistant to the Suns, all due to the fact that Budenholzer couldn't get some guys that he wanted. And Dwayne Rankin also said that Budenholzer's assistant coaching staff is still under tenure with this team. We don't know if they're going to be staying long term or if not, but that could also have some implications with the Phoenix Suns and how they really decide to do things. But ultimately, the head coach is going to be the main focal sayer, the main person in the room, the person that's going to be making those connections with those players, something that the Suns want, making sure to build in that defensive identity and that hardworking identity that the Suns want. And I think all 5 of these guys can really qualify for that job and really showcase to Phoenix that they can do that. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section who you guys would like to see as the head coach. But as we go into next, I'm going to kind of dive in looking at these 5 guys and argue who I think is the best fit for this Phoenix Suns team. Now, if we want to look back at this list, right, there are 5 names: Jordan Ott, Johnny Bryant, Sean Sweeney, Chris Quinn, and David Bliss. And I can tell you right now, out of these 5 guys, I would not be mad if any of them were hired as the Phoenix Suns head coach. I think all 5 of these guys could present good qualities to this Phoenix Suns team to really help out the squad in all the areas that they want to improve. Obviously, there's guys, some better than others, but I do believe that all 5 could realistically do the job that Phoenix wants to bring in. But that being said, though, my main target for the Phoenix Suns is going to be Chris Quinn. I think he makes the most sense for this Phoenix Suns team, right? Ladies and gentlemen, he is an absolute beast working with the Miami Heat, understands that Heat culture and identity that, is that hard-working culture, the guys that, don't quit out, guys that are, undrafted or potentially late-round picks that really have to fight for their spots but want to prove themselves. And maybe that's what Phoenix wants to be within this new system, right? Guys that can bring out that youth culture, and maybe guys that haven't really panned out in Destination 1 and Destination 2, but could potentially pan out in Phoenix. And that's what Brian Gregory and Matt Ishbia are looking to find. I feel like a guy in Chris Quinn could really bring that the best out of them. But not only just that, he is an ex-player, one of the only ex-players in this list here. So having those player relations is something also that the Phoenix Suns have mentioned that they want to have, so they can have those connections with guys like Booker, Durant, Nurkic, and etc. Something that they didn't have with Budenholzer last year. And a guy like Chris Quinn, I think, would easily check that box for the Phoenix Suns. That's why he is my number 1 guy. Now, I'm looking at the rest of this list here. Johnny Bryant is another guy that has been mentioned. Obviously, the lead assistant with the Cavaliers, with the Nets, and with the Utah Jazz. Also has had some great runs around the league. He played overseas and in college a little bit, so not at the NBA level, but has some ex-player experience to really relate to those players. And ultimately, I don't know the most about Johnny Bryant. I know Ben knows a lot more about Johnny Bryant, and I'm definitely going to, pick his ear on that tomorrow on the live stream, as I know that's his favorite target, and I would love to know a little bit more about him. But once again, I think Bryant really, as the lead assistant, has proven over the last couple seasons that he can be an NBA-ready head coach. Chris Haynes did say that when he was breaking down these lists of finalists in the second round, and a guy like Johnny Bryant making it to the second round really, really does please me. After that, obviously, it's a little bit more questionable. Jordan Ott has been a top-tier assistant alongside Kenny Atkinson as well, known for his offensive scheme. A lot of Suns fans have that questionability around Jordan Ott, all due to the fact that he went to Michigan State. But unlike Brian Gregory, obviously Matt Ishbia and Brian Gregory knew each other going to Michigan State. They didn't go to Michigan State or coach at Michigan State at the same time as Jordan Ott. It's just a similar connection. Once again, I do think Ott, compared to these two, is a little bit on the lesser scale of things, but I still would feel confident having him running this offensive scheme for the Phoenix Suns and bringing that new offensive culture to Phoenix. And then the last two, Sean Sweeney and David Bliss. Sean Sweeney is a guy who's really, really great defensively, in my opinion, known for his defensive schemes in Dallas over these last couple of seasons, and could once again bring that hard work, a defensive identity that Phoenix really, really wants here. I think he's probably one of the better defensive-minded assistant head coaches out of the mix here. But ultimately, do the Suns want to buy all the way in on defense and forget about the offensive part, or maybe have to worry about guys like Devin Booker or some of their offensive players taking over at that offensive spot? That's the main question revolving around Sweeney. And then Dave Bliss, someone that I was very high on alongside Mike and Nori, all due to the fact that he has great player development with Oklahoma City Thunder and being a assistant over there as well. Obviously, I think that he could be a guy that could kind of instill with that youth, right? If Brian Gregory is good at drafting and is key at this and was, the main home run hitter for Oso Ighodaro and for Ryan Dunn in the draft, if he wants to kind of focus on that and getting these players that are, fringe NBA players or guys that are counted out on but can make impacts for Phoenix, maybe a guy like David Bliss has some of that insight and can really bring that in for this Phoenix Suns team and also develop those young guys alongside some of these stars in Devin Booker that are still going to be staying in Phoenix, or whoever they else get in a trade, potentially for a Durant deal or for a Bradley Beal deal. Ultimately, though, I do think Bliss might be a little bit better of a fit for a front office role as a player development guy more than an assistant coach. But that is where I stand there. When looking at these 5 guys, I would rank them Chris Quinn, Johnny Bryant, Jordan Ott, Sean Sweeney, then David Bliss in that order. But like I stated before I discussed all 5 of these coaches, I'm a big fan of all of them. I think all of them could really help change this Phoenix Suns new path that they want to go down. And I think that if any of these 5 guys got hired, yes, maybe some of them are better than others, but there should be no quarrel, should be no freak out from this Suns organization here, as they're going to be getting a pretty solid assistant head coach to come in here, take the reins like they want to, and to establish his own identity to really hopefully put Phoenix back into those conversations in 2 to 3 seasons. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this head coaching search. It's almost finally done, which will mean the Suns can explore some potential trades, some potential free agency moves, and all of that jazz, which comes to catering towards the roster, which I know is the meat and bones of the offseason. So once again, we're getting to that time and point of year. So if you do enjoy the content, make sure to continue to hit that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And I hope to catch you guys all there tomorrow with Ben and I at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific to discuss the latest news on the Phoenix Suns. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in today's episode, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.